Welcome to So Make It, 17th of September, and we've got an open night.
Yeah, I didn't bring my laptop with me.
He knows me so well. Bracken, for my wedding present, actually bought me one of these.
And what is that?
This is a J-head MK5b.
In brass.
Yeah. Which is apparently going to solve all my problems.
Cool. And that's going onto this printer here, which is yours, but it's kept at the space.
That's right. It's effectively replacing this horrible mess that you see here.
Okay. And what sort of thing is that?
Has had a good run. This is the Ecotech's own hot end,
right?
Which we've had nothing but problems with, to be fair. Yes, okay, this might not solve the problem, but at least it's going to eliminate one possible unknown, because we're all quite familiar with this. We're not so familiar with this.
Alright, and what sort of problems have we had with that one?
It's been jamming constantly, and we've not managed to print successfully, or a serious amount of ABS yet. Been printing PLA just fine, which you may have seen on the blog elsewhere. We've had no problems with that, but just getting those higher temperatures, we've had jams, we've had the filament coming out, all sorts of horrible little issues. And in fact, it's jammed one more time, and it's just got to the point where, okay, we need to do something, and so popping this on is exactly what we're going to do.
Okie dokie, and so it looks like that hole's too small.
It is. Unfortunately, we thought we could drill out this hole so we can fit this in there, but well, through the miracle of 3D printing, of course, Bracken is going to print another one of these parts here, so we can pop this in nicely. We're going to do that because at the same time we can take advantage of the fact that we're printing a new part, because these nuts, these little holes here for the nuts that keep this in place.
Right, to where the idler
That's right.
Go.
They've always been a little bit of a problem. They've been slightly too big, so we're going to correct those while we're at it.
Okay.
And hopefully, all things going to plan, that will a little resistor there will heat up that little bit of brass, and we'll be printing maybe next week in ABS.
Excellent.
Touch wood.
Sounds really good.
There's going to be one underneath that.
Thank you very much. Hello.
No.
Tell us about your photography project.
Absolutely, literally.
My name's Anthony Furno, and I've been working on various different projects to control cameras in various different ways. And I first started off with this project here, which is a little box of tricks to control the camera and flashes. And so on here we've got that's the screen obviously, and I wrote a little menu driven selection where you can select what type of camera control you want to do, whether you want to do it via lightning or water drop test or slider controller, which I'll get onto in a moment. But this is running off Leo stick Arduino in there, and it has various different sensor connectors, so I can plug in different types of sensors like a light sensor or an infrared sensor or a sound sensor, which comes in useful for camera. So if you wanted to capture a picture of something popping, for instance, like a water balloon, you can get the camera, get this to detect the pop of the balloon, to fire the flash and fire the camera. So that's a sort of example of what this can do.
Cool.
And
the other thing you've got here is a camera slide.
yeah, which is this big long rig here. It's a little bit shorter than it should be. It needs to be a bit longer. Get there eventually. But this is driven by a motor at that end, which is then controlled by this optical breaker wheel, which will be connected up to an Arduino. So when I can measure how far the slide is moving. And I'll be able to do time lapses where you get the camera moving across, which is the end goal. So you get those sort of moving time lapses.
And will this trigger the flash box as well, or will the camera automatically trigger its flash when it triggers the camera?
The idea is this box will tell the camera to take the picture,
right,
and this box will also tell the slider when to move.
I see. Okay.
I'm also going to rig it up with a separate controller so that you can control the slider independently of this box. So you could just have it moving continuously.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, having fun doing all this, and it's a great space to come and do.
So Anton is painting LEDs, and why are you painting LEDs, Anton?
I've got a couple of layers here for an LED cube, 4x4x4, just single colour. But to stop the light going up from the bottom LEDs all the way through to the top when you light the bottom up.
And how many LEDs in your cube? It's what? Are they?
4
They look like different.
to the power of what? I don't know.
4 layers.
I think it's 64. 4x4x4.
Oh, I see.
4 to the 3.
In 4 layers.
In 4 layers. I've only got 3 out because the bottom layer doesn't need painting.
Aha. And what are you going to use to control it?
It's going to be powered off an Arduino. Actually, the shrimping kit we'll be doing tomorrow will be the primary goal for this.
And are you using some sort of shift register?
Yeah, I haven't
Or are
entirely
you
finished out the
multiplexing
design.
somehow?
Found a couple of designs on the internet, pretty much all use a shift register and then multiplex one of the layers at a time, and a shift register to control each LED. So it turns out building all the layers and then putting them together, not the best idea. A little bit tricky to solder in the middle of a cube.
Have to get away with putting a mobile
How else would you do it
phone
though?
on the
Because
robot.
if you're using your
American, they won't know it.
You can only use
LED templates, you'd have to do it one way or the other. Or would you just do it by measuring each one and being
I
very
think you've
careful?
got to do a template for the bottom layer and then add to it one LED at a time. I was hoping to avoid doing that because I figure that's going to lead to a lot of skew as you go up in the layers. At least if I can start with all the layers being fairly well proportioned, then it might get better. But soldering the edge ones is fine. Soldering the middle ones is a little more tricky.